How you doing, y'all? How's it going? Just taking a little break from a little painting I'm working on. Just a little something. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there it is. I do a very graphic style of watercolor and ink. I'm also a tattoo artist by trade, so just decided to show that off a bit, and I decided to stop, take a break, and do this little video. I think it's important. I want to give you my opinion on the difference between astral projection and lucid dreaming, because I've experienced both on numerous occasions. And I see a lot of misinformation on it, a lot of just information put out by people that probably haven't experienced both or even either of them. They're just going on their assumptions or whatnot. I know this is mostly a psychedelic channel, but I think it definitely has a lot to do with that. I can actually use some comparisons of these states of consciousness to certain psychedelic experiences I've had that I think others can relate to if you have not had astral projection or lucid dreaming experience. Now, I've had both, probably astral projected a dozen times, I would say, and I had lucid dreams probably over 100, a lot. There was a point where I can induce them every night. I've had some scary experiences relating, some horrific experiences relating to these types of altered states. I'm not going to go into that much. I just want to describe the differences that I've noticed. I consider myself somewhat experienced in these. Also, it relates to psychedelics because whether I would have ended up having these experiences, it seems as though a particular bad acid trip when I was 16 had triggered out-of-body experiences and lucid dreams and shadow beings, etc. After this particular bad experience, I could not sleep on my back. Ever since that, I could not sleep on my back without experiencing sleep paralysis. It seems as though sleep paralysis is the precursor to astral projection, to leaving your body, and to a lesser degree, lucid dreaming. In other words, if you ride it out, if you go from the sleep paralysis state, you can actually lift up out of your body. But what seems to happen when I lose that state, like I either freak out, it's scary. It's not comfortable to be paralyzed like that, and the buzzing in your body and everything. It's not comfortable. So oftentimes, either you get scared and nervous and try and get out of it. You start to panic. It's very claustrophobic. Or what happens is it seems to fade into, like you fade into a dream sort of realm. Like you lose consciousness for a brief second, and then it's almost, for me, and then I'm dreaming. And for some reason, I'm usually aware that I'm dreaming, so it turns into a lucid dream. But the difference to me, when you are lucid dreaming, it feels internal. Like, not every single time I'm lucid dreaming, but almost every single time, I feel like the sensation that my body is up above me. And I can feel, it's really hard to explain, but I can feel myself in two places two places at once. I can feel my body, my physical body, and my dreaming body. It just feels like there's more attention, like 80-90% of my attention is on my dream body, and then maybe 10% on my physical body, just making sure I'm safe, I suppose. It's hard to explain, but until you experience it, there's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. You can hear about it a million times, but to have the experience, mind-blowing. So it feels internal. It almost feels like you're inside of your own mind, and like you have, it's a realm, an internal, a microcosm type realm, and you are the god of it. The few times I've astral projected, it feels like the macrocosm. It feels like you are in a more mysterious place, unknown, like you never know what to expect, what you're going to run into. Like it's being overseen by something greater than you. Source, if you will, whatever you want to call it. I also find that astral projection is even more lucid. It's like a step, an upgrade, a huge upgrade. There's so much more you can do. Plus, when you astral project, you project out into the physical, or so you think. It looks like the physical. They say it's an exact replica, but it's not quite the physical. For example, there's a lot of accounts of this, like people leaving their body and being able to report in real time what they're seeing. Like, say for example, they go to their neighbors and see their cat, right? They see that their cat is in the living room eating some dry food. So they make a mental note of it. When they come back to their body, they say, okay, at this, about 20 minutes in, or whatever, 5 minutes in, I saw my neighbor's cat. It was wearing a pink collar, and it was eating dry food in their kitchen, right? Let's just say you can see through the window. You see that happening when you're out of body. So, and the collar was, say, pink. It's a pink collar on the cat. And so what happens is, the neighbor confirms, yes, the cat was in the kitchen eating dry food at approximately this time, but it was wearing a purple collar, or a blue collar, or a green collar, whatever. There's slight differences. Like often when I leave my body, astral project, I can look back, and the color of my blankets and the pattern is different. Everything else is the fucking same, but there's one little thing out of place, maybe two things out of place. It's almost like something interferes with physical reality, and you can probably get quantum physics on this shit, because perhaps when you leave your body into the astral world, it is maybe one of the closer possibilities of what could have been, since we supposedly live in a multiverse. You can get real complicated with that. I'm sure that soon, one day, we'll be able to explain it this way. Hopefully. There's a lot of parallels in astral projection and lucid dreaming that I see in what I hear. I listen to quantum physics lectures and stuff, and how they talk about a particle can exist in two places at once. One single thing can exist in two places at once under certain circumstances. I myself have experienced this very lucidly. It's not like kind of dreamy or whatever. It's just as real as this physical reality. Just as fucking real. And so perhaps there is some sort of, a duality of the consciousness can split off like that. I don't know. Freaking bizarre shit. But yeah, as I said, it started after one really traumatic LSD experience, really high dose. And so further on the differences, lucid dreaming is already really cool and lucid. It's almost like you're in a very realistic video game. And then astral projection is a step above that. It feels even more real. It feels even more bizarre. Okay, so the people in dreams seem to be more, or in the lucid dreams, seem to be more simplistic, non-complex, and non-threatening, because I feel like I'm in control of the dream. You know what I mean? In astral projection, these entities you come across feel external. It feels like, you know, when I'm out of body and I'm walking around or floating around, it feels as if I gotta be careful about what I may encounter. It's a very real thing. It's bizarre. It almost feels like you're occupying the same body, though. It's still the dream body, quote unquote, but you're projecting it out macro into the cosmos. And lucid dreaming is microcosm. What else? I didn't notice this in any lucid dream I've ever had, but when I'm astral projecting, my body's stretchy. How do I explain this? Like that Stretch Armstrong character. Like if I was when I astral projected, this one time comes to mind that was the most profound. I felt like I was out of body for a half hour. I explored my neighborhood. I flew across my neighborhood, and then I went down and I was jumping from building to building. And so when I was jumping down, for example, I would jump off of a roof like so, like boom, and then the rest of my body would snap, like whoosh, 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 you know what I mean? Stretch Armstrong, or those sticky hands you get from the 25-cent machines. That's the substance that your dream body is made of. And I've read this after I've found other people describing this. It's like a gelatinous, stretchy, gummy substance. It's fucking weird. You gotta experience it for yourself. I know it sounds totally counterintuitive. You would think it was some ethereal ghost body. And I bet it is, you know. But there's other properties to it. Strange properties that everyone seems to universally experience. I've never experienced this silver cord that people talk about. I've gone through the intense vibrations. It feels like a fucking 9.5 earthquake coming from within. And when I popped out, it's like it all came through my chest. It was like I was a bright ball of blue electricity, and I just popped out. And then, you know, I floated up and through my roof, and then I started hopping around. It feels so euphoric, like you're on cloud 9. I can't even describe how amazing and elated it feels. You don't want to come back to your body. You wish you get stuck out there. For example, you not stuck per se, but you feel like if this is what comes after, I don't want to go back. Fuck it, shut it down. I'm gonna stay here. I met some being. Now I only had one astral projection like this one. This was fucking profound. The one I keep referring to, like when my body was all stretchy. It was super lucid. It was like the whole I got all the bells and whistles with it, from the vibrations to the popping out. Easily popped out, easily floated up. It was easily being, or I was easy. It was easy for me to navigate my body, for the most part. There was some getting used to because it's not your physical. It feels a bit foreign, but it almost felt like something was helping me, and I felt like something was watching me the whole time, and just right there, 10 feet behind me, or 10 feet in front of me, or 10, just always there within reach if I needed help. And so I was floating around, hopping around my neighborhood, and I said, let's take this next level. I want to go to the moon. And then I hear a voice from above, but I couldn't see the person. He goes, you sure, or you want to do that? Let's do it. Like super goofy almost voice, like almost a voice you would hear narrating like an old arcade game. I don't know if games like that exist anymore, but like in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, the guy that was the narrator, or the you win, or fatality, that kind of thing, that kind of authoritative voice. But in a sense, it was like fun-loving and goofy at the same time. It's really hard to explain. Just sound like someone you would want to hang out with. Super open, friendly. And so the voice goes, all right, are you ready? And I said, yeah, sure. In my mind, I recall just saying, yeah, totally, let's do this. And then all of a sudden, I felt my body stretch upward. And as I described before, it stretches and you know what I mean? But this time it just stretched, and I still felt my feet on the ground while I was traveling through this wormhole, lights and all this stuff around me, like people describe DMT. I've still not done DMT, mind you. So that's why I'm saying how it's described. But I was just going through this wormhole, and there he was right next to me. Finally got to see the dude. And he looked totally normal, like white t-shirt and jeans. Wasn't ethereal or ghostly or demonic. And he was just always there trying to help guide me through all this. So that was bizarre. I've never had that. Not in a lucid dream, not in a astral projection, nothing. But the bottom line is, in astral projection, there's a less of a sense of control of the environment, control of the entities you come across. It's like it is your dream body, it seems like. I think, I could be wrong, but it feels like you have control over the immediate surroundings. Like if something was to fuck with you, you can stop it from happening, like mentally, telekinetically almost. Like you can cause something to fly across the room if you didn't want it to fuck with you, like push it with your energy. But as far as like the environment, who you encounter, there was no control over that. Maybe immediately, like if I saw a stop sign and I wanted to see it turn into a teddy bear, for example, boom, I can make that happen. But it had to be, I had to be near it, or you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but I think you guys get the drift. I'm doing my best here. They're definitely different, and anyone that experiences it is going to know that they're different. I believe there's hybrids too. Listening to people talk about astral, like the authorities on it, like Dr. Robert Monroe and people from the Monroe Institute. I listen to that all the time. The authorities on it do in fact say that every dream is somewhat of an astral projection. When at night, every living creature supposedly detaches from its body and floats there about 3 inches above. The difference is when you astral project, you become aware of it, of your body detaching, and you can project it further than just that 3 inches. So you detach 3 inches and then you dream. That's basically what happens when you're dreaming. Robert Bruce has described this too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. But so it's easy to see why you could experience like a hybrid effect of astral and lucid. Like you in a lucid dream, you can will yourself back to your body. I've done this before. And then project from there. So you would will yourself back into your sleeping body through your dream. And then you can project out into this quasi-physical universe that we live in. Why I say that is, like I said, I'm not sure. The jury's out. I do not know what the fuck's going on. It's really complicated. It's crazy and weird, but certain things do add up. Like you can, in fact, go spy on your friend and report back and nail 90% of the content. Well, sometimes, and it's not every time, sometimes 100%, sometimes none, sometimes 20%. You could be far off sometimes. It seems like it's a parallel universe that's just right there, and it's a different reality playing out that you can somehow project into through your dream body, your mind, whatever. Either way, the last acid trip I had it was on 1P LSD actually, and I did a video on it. If you're interested, you should check it out. But I described the way people's faces and skin looked, their flesh. That is almost identical to how people look in the astral and in the dream realms. It's almost like malleable. It looks like Play-Doh, like a hybrid of energy and physical flesh, physical stuff. It's a hybrid. Like when you look at someone in the face and the eyes, it almost looks like the eyes are slightly swimming. Like the main features of the face are like swimming and kind of like not stationary. It's really bizarre. But everything about the person's body in the astral is just like that. I wonder why it looked like that to me when I was tripping. I'm wondering if, because I did astral project but way before this trip, I wonder if it was just my preconceived hallucination, or if there's something to tripping that causes you to be able to see into different realms. But that's why I believe all this shit is related. I am hypothesizing and I almost want to say theorizing that when you trip, you've got your foot halfway into the astral. All the imagery you get, the way things warp and appear at times. Like who's that comedian? Well, I can't remember his name. Where he said, there was a famous line in one of his stand-up acts where he says, a boy today took LSD and realized that all matter is just energy, or whatever. You know the famous line. I don't remember it verbatim. Obviously, I'm poorly paraphrasing it, but that pretty much nails what, and I'm sure a lot can agree. When you trip, you can almost see the energy, as opposed to it looking at, more physical. It becomes less physical. I wonder if there's any merit to that. If there's if there's some sort of, if tripping actually puts your mind, tunes it closer to the astral world. The higher of a dose could in fact maybe take you further into one of these dimensions or realms that only your mind can access. I don't know, it's a thought. Tell me what you guys think. just wanted to share that. I don't normally talk about these things because people think it's nuts, but I'm not totally off my rocker, and I have very lucidly had experiences like this. So maybe some of you guys can chime in and tell me your experiences. That would be awesome. Alright guys, thank you.